calculating the certified tax rate. We didn't know that that was coming at all. But it happened, and so because the formula changed, the actual certified tax rate would only generate $491,000 in property tax. 491,304. So that's 50,000 different than what, the 541 that we put in there in the first place is $37,000 lower than what we got last year. The statute, the legislation that changed this calculation for the certified tax rate gave a caveat. It said, basically, the state, the counties, the big cities, everybody involved knew that this change would impact financially all of the taxing entities throughout the state. Cities, counties, school districts, special districts, everybody. And that this change in the formula would reduce the tax levy. So they said, we understand that. In order to hold everybody harmless, we will allow taxing entities to make up that lost amount, dollar for dollar, just an exact amount. And if you do that, then that increase is exempt from what's known as truth in taxation. You would not have to have a public hearing to go through that process if you're going to just make up that exact dollar amount.
Which is the 528?
528.
528.
Right. So the difference in our case is $37,000. That's what the resolution before you tonight is all about, is that we didn't anticipate this. Now that we understand the change and what the law allows, this resolution before you tonight clarifies our original intent, which really was not to accept the certified tax rate. It was really to budget no less than we got last year. So that's why the resolution specifies right there in section 1, the budgeted property tax revenue for fiscal year 2010-11 shall be $528,049. If we do that again, we would not be increasing taxes from the state's standpoint or the county's standpoint. We would not have to go through truth in taxation to do that. And our budget would continue to be balanced. We would have a small surplus, I think of about 8,000 something. Yeah, 8534. If we were to not pass the resolution tonight, and if we were to accept the certified tax rate, which would generate $491,000, then we would essentially lose $37,000 of our existing taxing capacity, and consequently have to dip into our reserves for the budget that we've adopted. We would dip into our reserves to the tune, I think, of about $28,000. Yep. 28,211. So that's the question. If you want me to explain more about why they changed the formula.
Well, it appears like it was done based on collections of prior year revenues.
That's correct.
Well, and didn't the property tax that people just didn't pay the property taxes, and so they went into debit status, so to speak.
Somehow or other, the legislator convinced the other legislators that cities were double dipping by collecting prior year's past fee and not having to account for that in their taxation notices. We all sort of blinked and said, huh?
It's the same every year.
We've always budgeted for a certain amount of taxes, and we've always received less because people don't pay for it. When they finally do pay for it, why is that a double dipping? We always account for it. But somehow or other, the Taxpayers Association particularly convinced the legislature that it was an overwhelming vote.
But that said,
Well,
as the legislation was being formed, like I say, they included this provision for making up the amount that would be lost.
the whole harmless part.
But
And
this year only, right?
This is our only chance. 2010 is the only moment in time when all taxing entities throughout the state can make this adjustment. And then you establish a new baseline, a new equilibrium going forward. After 2010, there will be slight fluctuations depending on the level of redemptions, delinquent tax payments. And so that'll fluctuate slightly from year to year. But really, the intent, the expectation of the legislation, of this, the state, the legislators, the League of Cities, the county, everybody is expecting all taxing entities to make this adjustment. We would not be the only ones doing it. The individual property owner on their tax bill will see this happen from, I would expect every taxing entity on their bill.
Well, actually, they would see, they're not gonna see an increase because this is what they paid last year. They actually would see a decrease.
Well, this is what amounts to a rate increase. He keeps using nice words like adjustment, but this is
Correct.
a rate.
A rate increase.
So the rate would increase. Now, I think,
I'm not sure how it would,
Well-
because basically they reduced the rate because they're figuring they're gonna be receiving other money from the last year's collections.
the adjustment does cause the rate to go up.
The actual mill levy?
Yes.
Yes,
Well, the mill levy is the dollar amount. The rate,
No, the rate is the mill levy. It's
your
a percentage.
property taxes with this will be higher
Than they were last year?
than they were last year.
the city's revenue will be the same.
But the
So-
revenue will be coming in.
But
Somebody's
where's,
got to.
no, but where, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So who collects that extra
Yeah,
money?
where
That's-
does that money go? See, that doesn't work. If the city gets the same amount of money,
The rate
And
goes
the
up,
rate
our
goes up.
valuation is going down $20 million.
What this is doing is saying that because I pay my taxes and my neighbor didn't pay his taxes because he got his house repossessed, I have to help pay his taxes too.
So either that or the property values go down and they want to increase the rate so that it comes back up. Now, if that's the case, then I understand that. If everybody's property values go down, so they want to keep the money coming in the same, so they raise the rate up. If that's,
well, I
I
think Todd kind of hit it, I guess, exactly right. It's a question of delinquent
Yeah.
taxpayers.
That's what
So you're basically paying
And
a little
that's
more
what
to
it's about.
compensate for the fact they're not paying.
That's really the reason behind it all, is that the old system does say that when I pay my taxes, I'm also paying for the fact that maybe my neighbor's not.
Yeah.
But that's what this new rate formula addresses, is it tries to equalize that.
Yeah, but when your neighbor then pays his taxes,
And
then where does that money go with the penalties and interest and all the others?
Are they
Nice things
assuming this bad debt, it's never gonna come back?
It goes into the coffers.
And the state takes
That's what
it.
the reduction is this time, is because they've said, cities, you're receiving all this back pay, and therefore, you're gonna get it.
My question is if we have any recourse with the county, have they actually gone through our city and looked at the delinquent?
We have a delinquency rate of a little higher than our collections rate is slightly higher than 90%, which is very low compared to other entities. I think the average is around 95%.
Yeah, which is something we haven't been able to put our finger on why it is.
But we have in our budget a line item for prior year property taxes, and we've budgeted for revenue in that line for a long time.
But there is some portion that's uncollectible.
So your proposal is essentially to raise
The rate.
the